Hi you guys. Okay, so my last video of the day is going to talk about a list for college. You're going to want your student to do a little homework. So I want to go to blank college. That's what your kid's going to say. I want to go to this college. But you want them to go ahead and make a list of, say, 15 colleges. That's a very good, sufficient list. And then you're going to want them to go ahead on Google and you're going to look at the stats for each and every college. So every college will have like a low, middle, and high ground stat. So it'll be like a low stat would be like 1100 on your SAT and a 3.8. And then a middle of the road, which is where most of their kids get in, is going to be whatever, 1200. I'm just making up numbers based on just so you understand that like every school has stats. And so then you're going to have your kid look at their GPA. What's your GPA? Is your weighted GPA a 4.2? Is your SAT score of 1400? You can pretty much go to any school you want. But then there's those kids that are like, oh, I want to go to this school, but I have a 2.8 and I had a 1080 on my SAT and I don't have any extracurriculars and I'm just hoping to get in. Okay, save your money. Save your money at that school. You're not going to get into that school. It's very, very unlikely. So you're going to have that child do the homework, go through those schools, make a list. And then as a parent, you can sit there with them and right underneath all those little stats, there's going to be how much it costs. How much does it cost to go to this school? How much does it cost to pay tuition, buy books, live in a dorm, pay for them to eat? How much will it cost for you to go visit them or for them to go visit you if there's a plane ride involved? If it's going to be a gas? Do they have a car? These are all things that you need to really think about and discuss with your student before they start applying to colleges. Because if your child wants to go to, let's say, Oregon, and you live in Florida, but you can't afford a plane trip for them to come home at Thanksgiving, to come home at Christmas, if you can't go out there to visit them, is that really the right answer for your family? It's not. It's not the right answer for your family. So go ahead and look at the schools. Look at how much money you have saved for them. Look at your state scholarship. So we live in the state of Florida, so our state has Florida Bright Futures. And it comes along with, you have to do 100 hours of community service. You have to have this certain GPA and a certain SAT or ACT score. Does your child qualify for that? Almost every state has something like that. So what are the other things that you have? Is your child going to get a scholarship for X, Y, and Z? Not like, I hope they get the scholarship. Do they have it already? Have they already qualified for it? And then put a plan together and say, okay, I do not have $30 or $40 or $50, $60,000 for you to go to school every year. And as a freshman in college, you can qualify for $5,500 in unsubsidized loan. Some families are going to qualify for Pell Grant, and that Pell Grant money is 15% less than it was last year. And that's okay because it is what it is. But you're going to need to know how much money you have. Your student needs to have a realistic expectation about how much money that student has for school. Because if you are not going to pay 50 grand a year for them to go to that tiny liberal arts college nobody's ever heard of, guess what? They need to know that. And so that is your first conversation after getting your Common App, getting your college specific email, and making a list of colleges that your student is interested in. So let's go ahead and do that next. And then I'll be back tomorrow with more exciting tips to make your senior year way less stressful than it needs to be. Have a great day, you guys.